Shut up.
New Black Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black
Morning.
Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
Hey, grand rising to you billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where black folk do read. You put in a book, we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. It's a study of black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just believe that if you want to be wealthy, you should study wealthy people. Well, you can find that book. You can get this shirt by simply going to www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. You can find that link in the description above or below. Well, guys, we're continuing along into our journey into the science of getting rich. That's our book, as we're got about 6 more chapters left here. We're in chapter 10, and we're broadcasting live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And also, this is our podcast, and we'd ask that you would subscribe and support our podcast with a small monthly donation to help us sustain future episodes, improve financial literacy within our community, and ultimately to help us build the school of wealth. That's right. We want to teach the next generation. We want to create an institution to teach the next generation about money. Well, guys, you can find us across all podcast platforms at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. That's right, the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Well, also like to know, also would love for you to let us know exactly where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country. We are across the World Wide Web. Not quite sure where everybody might be, but we're broadcasting right from ERGJ Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, Decatur, where it's greater. Love to know where you're connected from this morning. But let's get right into this story, this chapter, this passage here today, the science of getting rich. Now, I've been just absolutely loving the change of my mentality as I've been going through and reading. It's one of those books that you just can't get enough. And so let's get right into this thing, The Science of Getting Rich by Mr. Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich by Mr. Wallace Wattles, Chapter 10, Further Use of the Will. Chapter 10, Further Use of the Will. Let's read. You cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you're constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they be external or imaginary. Do not tell of your past troubles of a financial nature if you have had them. Do not think of them at all. Do not tell of the poverty of your parents or the hardships of your early life. To do any of these things is to mentally class yourself with the poor for the time being. And it will certainly check the movement of things in your direction. Put poverty and all things that pertain to poverty completely behind you. You have accepted a certain theory of the universe as being correct and are resting all your hopes of happiness on its being correct. What can you gain by giving heed to conflicting theories? Do not read books which tell you that the world is soon coming to an end, and do not read the writing of muckrakers and pessimistic philosophers who tell you that it is going to the devil. The world is not going to the devil. Is going to God. It is a wonderful becoming. True, there may be a good many things in existing conditions that are disagreeable. But what is the use of studying them when they are certainly passing away and when the study of them only tends to slow their passing and keep them with us? Why give time and attention to things that are being removed by evolutionary growth when you can hasten their removal only by promoting the evolutionary growth as far as your part of it goes? No matter how horrible and seeming may be the conditions in certain countries or sections or places, you waste your time and destroy your own chances by dwelling on them. You should interest yourself in the world's becoming rich. Think of the riches of the world. Think of the riches the world is coming into instead of the poverty it is growing out of. And bear in mind that the only way in which you can assist the world in growing rich is by growing rich yourself through the creative method, not the competitive one. Give your attention wholly to riches, getting rich. Do not focus on poverty. Whenever you think of or speak of those who are poor, think and speak of them as those who are becoming rich, as those who are to be congratulated rather than pitied. Then they and others will catch the inspiration and begin to search for the way out. Because I say that you are to give your whole time and mind and thought to riches, it does not follow that you are to be sordid or mean. To become really rich is the noblest aim you can have in life, for it includes everything else. On the competitive plane, the struggle to get rich is a godless scramble for power over others. But when we come into the creative mind, all this is changed. All that is possible in the way of greatness or of service and lofty endeavor comes by way of getting rich. Because all is made possible by the use of things. You can aim at nothing so great or noble, I repeat, as to become rich. And you must fix your attention upon your mental picture of wealth to the exclusion of all that may tend to dim or obscure the vision. Some people remain in poverty because they are ignorant to the fact that there is wealth for them. And these can best be taught by showing them the way to affluence in your own person and practice. Others are poor because while they feel that there is a way out, they are too intellectually indolent to put forth the mental effort necessary to find that way and travel it. For these, the very best thing you can do is to arouse their desire by showing them the happiness that comes from being rightly rich. Others still are poor because while they have some notion of science, they have become so swamped and lost in the maze of theories that they do not know which road to take. They try a mixture of many systems and fail in all. For these, again, the very best thing to do is to show the right way in your own person and practice. An ounce of doing things is worth a pound of theorizing. 1 ounce of doing something is worth a pound of just simply thinking about it. The very best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. Everybody put in console, make the most of myself. The very best thing that you can do for the rest of the world is make the most of yourself. You can serve God and humanity in no more effective way than by getting rich. That is, if you get rich by the creative method and not by the competitive one. Another thing, we assert that this book gives in detail the principles of the science of getting rich. And if that is true, you do not need to read any other book on the subject. This may sound narrow and egotistical, but consider there's no more scientific method of computation in mathematics than by addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. No other method is possible. There can be but one shortest distance between 2 points. There is only one way to think scientifically, and that is to think in a way that leads by the most direct and simple route to the goal. No one has yet formulated a briefer or less complex system than the one set forth here. It has been stripped of all 9 essentials. When you commence on this, lay all others aside. Put them out of your mind altogether. Read this book every day. Keep it with you. Commit it to memory. And do not think about other systems and theories. If you do, you'll begin to have doubts and to be uncertain and unwavering in your thought, and then you'll begin to make failures. After you have made good and become rich, you may study other systems as much as you please and read only the most optimistic comments on the world's news, those in harmony with your picture. Also, do not dabble in theosophy, spiritualism, or kindred studies. Perhaps the dead still live and are near, but if they are, let them alone. Mind your own business. Wherever the spirits of the dead may be, they have their own work to do, and we have no right to interfere with them. We cannot help them, and it's very doubtful whether they can help us or whether we have any right to trespass upon their time if they can. Let the dead and the hereafter alone and solve your own problems. Everybody put in the console, solve my own problem. See, billionaires, I want you to understand that as you look upon your life and you recognize some problems, I want you to understand that you really are the answer. You are the answer. You are the solution to your own problems. It just requires a little bit of change in your thinking to recognize that you're the solution to your very own problems and that you can fix it. Solve my own problem. Get rich. If you begin to mix with the occult, you will start mental cross currents that will surely bring your hopes to shipwreck. Now, this and the preceding chapters have brought us to the following statement of basic facts. There's a thinking stuff from which all things are made and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by thought. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, a person must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. In order to do this, a person must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. In order to do this, a person must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants and hold this picture in his thoughts with a fixed purpose to get what he wants and the unwavering faith that he does get what he wants, closing his mind against all that may tend to shake his purpose, closing his mind to all that may tend to dim his vision, closing his mind to all that may tend to quench his faith. And in addition to all this, we shall now see that he must live and act in a certain way. Live and act in a certain way. Well, billionaires, as we are getting into the science of getting rich, we begin to understand that I must first think and think in a certain way. And as my thinking changes, as my thinking evolves, as my thinking updates, as I reprogram myself, because my thoughts change, then therefore my actions can change. How many guys know you can't do something that you don't first think about? And I just find it very interesting as we come across this realm of getting rich or being wealthy or whatever the case may be. I don't know too many people who actually think about getting rich. I mean, just think about that for a second. I don't know too many people who really think about being rich, wealthy, whatever you want to call it. And because you don't think about it, you don't have it as a part of your process where you get up and you go about your day, you're not thinking about getting rich for whatever reason that you might want to do it, it makes it very difficult to get there. Now, we think about a lot of other stuff throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout our month, throughout our year. But one of the things that we may want to start thinking about, and that, it seems to have an effect on all of us, this thing called money, is getting rich. So that I can then go do all the other stuff and afford to go do all the other stuff that I might just want to do. One of the key answers or key solutions to many of our problems has to do with the lack of capital. So why not get rich and solve your own problem? Let me read this again. Let's read this. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon the formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, a person must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants. How many guys that are watching right now, or maybe catching this on a replay, you have formed a clear mental picture of what you want. I mean, it is crystal clear. You know exactly what you want, and you can see it. You can damn near almost touch it. A clear mental picture of what you want. And now, that's just the beginning. That's the vision board, by the way. But you take the vision board and you hold the picture in your thoughts. You keep the picture there. Not something that you have to go and look at. It's something that you already see because it stays right here. Now, in the comments below, I'd like for you to just share if you have your moment, if you got a moment. Because I know you got a mental picture of something as it relates to what you want in life. You got a mental picture of something that you believe as it relates to your own life. What is that clear mental picture? And then you got to ask yourself, as I have this mental picture of what I am or who I am or where I'm at or where I want to be or whatever it is that you have, that you clearly define in your mind, that you see each and every day when you wake up, that you've been holding on to. See, here's the deal. Let's just keep it real. There's some people who've been holding on to not having enough. There's some people that's been holding on to a picture of poverty. There's some people that's been holding on to a picture of a plantation. There's some people that's been holding on to a picture of sickness and illness and disease. They got this picture that they have mentally established into their mind, which has been helped by this thing called television, what's been helped by this thing called media, what's been helped by this thing called society. Instead of forming your own crystal clear mental picture of what you want, you've allowed the world to help you form a picture of what you don't want. And you've been holding on to that picture. You must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants. My question to you is, will you be mentally diligent? Will you go to work in your mind, or will you be subject to mental laziness because you won't work on your mind? You won't work on becoming the artist of your own image. You must form a clear mental picture of the things you want. And then hold on to this picture. It's your picture. You created it. You've designed it. Hold on to it with a fixed purpose to get what you want. And the unwavering faith that you do get what you want. Closing your mind against all that may tend to shake your purpose. Closing your mind to all that may tend to dim your vision. Closing your mind to all that may tend to quench your faith. Now this begs a question, billionaires. What are things that come into your life that shake your purpose, that throw you off? What are things that come into your life that dim your vision, that doesn't really uplift you, but it brings you down? What are things that come into your life that quench your faith, makes you start to wonder? You got to cut yourself off from that stuff. And in addition to all this, we shall now see that he must live and act in a certain way. We'll pick this up later on, chapter 11, acting in a certain way. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club, where black folk do read. You put in a book like The Science of Getting Rich by Mr. Wallace Wattles, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator. We invite you not only to pick up the Black Folk Do Read t-shirt, not only to pick up the Black Billionaires Club, the book, but we invite you to join the club where you can get personal development, business development, financial literacy classes, investment education, and the book club itself. And you can connect with brothers and sisters who are serious about winning with money, serious about success, and super serious about helping you to accomplish your goals and to build your dreams. Just simply go to www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. Make a decision. For as little as $20 a month, make a decision to join the club today. Well, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in today here on the New Black Wall Street Book Club. And billionaires, I want you to remember this. that it takes a village. And it starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, people. And thank God that that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New black. It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now you ain't gotta leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah. The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.